Just the News has come out with an FBI timeline. It's a bombshell release that just came out that exposes political interference in the Clinton corruption probe. No. We have a guy who has written the book, literally, on the Clinton cash, Peter Schweizer, who is with us to kind of tell us what this means, what is in the memo, and are we moving closer to coming to the truth about the corruption of the Clinton Foundation? Peter, welcome to the program.
Hey, Glenn, always great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
This one must make you feel good. I mean, finally, some proof, and you're vindicated.
Well, it's funny, Glenn, and I can talk about this openly now because the New York Times last year outed me as working as a confidential informant with the FBI. What that really means is I shared information with them. I didn't get paid, but as we did research, we shared it. And we got involved with the FBI back in 2015 when Clinton cash came out. They approached us. And at one point, there were 4 FBI field offices. So in other words, these are the agents in the field: Little Rock, Arkansas, Washington, D.C., New York, and also, interestingly, the FBI extension office in Nigeria. Because remember, with the Clintons, it was global corruption, and they actually had in Nigeria a audio tape of a very corrupt oligarch bragging on a phone conversation about how he had donated to the Clinton Foundation and gotten favors in return. So this was an investigation. I mean, Clinton cash was part of it. It certainly wasn't the only part of it. But the field offices were raring to go, and they were investigating. They were talking to people. They were gathering information. And immediately FBI headquarters basically said, hey, we don't want you doing this. And now what you have with the great reporting of John Solomon and Just the News is Sally Yates, Department of Justice official, telling them a year or so later, shut this down. You are not to look at this anymore. And that, of course, is highly, highly, highly unusual because field offices are supposed to organically follow leads and investigate. And to have the headquarters shut down an investigation on somebody as important as the Clintons, speaks, of course, of the problems of the deep state that you've highlighted for so many years.
Yeah, the deep state is really becoming clear right now. I did a show last night, Peter, where you can now see the outlines and you can see where they learned it and how they perfected it, beginning in 2020. And it's the same group of people, It's kind of like when we were doing the progressive thing from the 60s. You'd see, wait a minute, it's just one group of people. It's just like, I don't know, 20 to 100, maybe 200 people. But it's the same ones. They're always there at the scene of the crime. Sally Yates, I remember that name because I think Donald Trump, that was one of the first controversies he had. He fired her for some reason. Do you remember why?
Yes. I believe it was because of things that were being extracted at the Department of Justice. And she's one of these figures that you're talking about there. That's part of you would call it the permanent apparatus in Washington, D.C. And what they do is they serve in senior government positions. They may leave for a while, and they'll go and work for a powerful law firm, or they'll work for an investment fund or whatever, make a little extra money because, of course, government doesn't pay them all of what they want. And then they go back to government, but oftentimes they end up doing favors, of course, for the people who paid them when they were on the outside, and they are invited back into government because they're all kind of involved in this revolving door. And again, for Yates to take that position to say, essentially, I don't care what you guys are seeing or what you're investigating, shut it down. And by the way, she felt comfortable doing that. She's not protecting the people in power. She's doing this in 2017 when Donald Trump is in office, and which, again, speaks to the fact that for all the rhetoric and the claims from the deep state that Trump somehow politicized the Department of Justice, further proof that he did not, that the permanent state still ran those institutions during his first term.
Listen to this. This is a timeline released by the FBI through Just the News. The timeline stated that in July or August 2015, an FBI supervisory special agent at the Washington field office had, quote, a brief discussion, end quote, with a member of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, quote, regarding the Clinton Foundation allegations, which had been focused on because of the book Clinton Cash by Peter Schweizer. At the time, an investigator, whose name remains redacted, was in the process of attempting to predicate an investigation based on the allegations. I mean, what is it like to know that the government was revolving around you and what you had exposed?
Well, I tell you, Glenn, I appreciate that. I mean, we always base our information on paper trail, as you know. We don't use anonymous sources. And what happened is we were approached by people at the FBI, and they said, "Hey, we're interested in this. What can you share with us?" And we said everything. We kind of pushed all the chips on the table, and so that includes, the timing of financial transactions. A lot of the investigation started as it related to this Uranium One deal. You and I talked about this multiple times in 2015. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the one where the Clintons ended up getting $145 million from the Clinton Foundation. They also got speaking fees from these group of investors that Bill Clinton helped arrange the sale of American Uranium Company to a company that was owned by Canadians. But by the way, the origins of that company was Russia. So, all sorts of alarm bells were going off on that. But as the FBI investigation continued, they became involved in interested in other areas. The Nigerian investors, for example, because when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, we got these emails through the Freedom of Information Act. And when they were doing the Haitian reconstruction after the earthquake, for example, which Hillary Clinton was in charge of, people would send emails to the Secretary of State's office saying, "We want a contract for Haitian reconstruction. We are an FOB." And I thought, FOB, what's that? Turns out it was shorthand for friend of Bill. Mm-hmm. So the investigation began with Uranium One, but it included contracting with the State Department on Haitian reconstruction, Nigerian deals. There was an Indian component. So this was a global investigation. And what they, of course, as investigators had was subpoena power. But that was thwarted as well. There were instances, I know, where they wanted to access banking records, for example, and they were denied the ability to do that by the Department of Justice. So the investigation never really got off the ground. And yet these field agents, and I can't speak highly enough of them, they doggedly continued those investigations because they saw how much smoke and fire was actually there.
And this is what Loretta Lynch, and we now know, and Bill Clinton kind of spoke about on Clinton's plane on the tarmac in Phoenix in 2016, because she was apparently she was delivering a message that, don't worry, these scandals are going away. I have word from FBI, and we've got it under control, and it's all going to be shut down. Correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. So again, there's a clear example. You have an Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, who flat out lied to the American people. She was asked about, what that conversation was about, and they basically said they were talking about grandkids.
Grandkids and golf.
Yeah, grandkids and golf, the two Gs. And you're flat out lying to the American people, and of course you've got Bill Clinton involved in it, and this is the reason. As much as the left wants to say the reason people don't trust government is because, people like you, Glenn, are trashing it all the time. No, you're exposing what it does. And they continue to lie to us and to deceive. And this is why we're a state in America where people don't trust governmental institutions, and I think rightfully so.
So are we any closer to anybody going to jail?
As it relates to the Clintons, and of course I always predicate this, I'm not a lawyer. But what I would say is part of the challenge with those financial crimes is the issue of statute of limitations. But when it comes to the cover-up, I think you have some real possibilities there from a criminal standpoint. I think it's great that Congressman Comer's committee subpoenaed the Clintons. They're going to be coming in under oath to be asked about, I think, a wide variety of questions.
Do you think they actually are going? Do you think they actually go? Seriously.
I think Bill Clinton is going to claim executive privilege,
Sure.
which he really can't because this all happened after he was president. That will be tied him in the courts. I think Hillary Clinton will probably have to show up. I think she has more, constitutional responsibilities to do that than Bill Clinton does as the next president. And I think she's probably going to get more of what we've gotten testimony in the past, which is I don't recall. I don't remember pleading the fifth.
What difference does it make? One last thought on this. I see the Clintons, what they got away with in the Oval Office, with the I didn't have sex with that woman and drawing us out for 18 months into this nightmare, all based on a lie. But then when it was exposed, he didn't pay a price because by that time, everybody was so tired of it, they just wanted to go away. That set up this kind of system where you just deny, and then by the time you find out, everybody's tired of the story. But also their corruption during the administration and then after the administration with the Clinton Foundation. That's what really set the Bidens up, right? Do you think that Joe Biden kind of learned from all of that, saw them getting away with it, and like, well, I can do that, and he just did a more grotesque, obvious version of it?
Yeah, Glenn, I think you absolutely nailed it. Because here's the thing. Before the Clintons, yes, we've had corruption in American politics for really since the beginning. But most of it was the sort of rank and file, I get a deal for my cousin who's a contractor back in my congressional district. The Clintons were the first to globalize it. They said, hey, we're this powerful nation. We can go to China. We can go to Russia. We can go to Ukraine. We can go to Nigeria. All these foreigners want something from us. And their corrupt political institutions, so we can bank even more cash there than we ever could trying to get something from Wall Street or some contractor. And the Biden saw that. And that's the reason that Hunter Biden, shortly after the Clintons started doing this and it became known, Hunter Biden set up a quote-unquote investment firm, didn't go to London, didn't go to Japan, didn't really go to Wall Street. He went to Russia, Ukraine, and China. So it was a mirror image of what the Clintons did. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, Republican or Democrat, we have got to deal with this because we don't want elected officials or unelected officials in D.C. realizing this is the way to make money. And if we know one thing, Glenn, we know that corruption gets imitated. If you don't deal with it, you don't pay a price, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Other people are going to start doing it too.
Well, it's the same thing that's happening on the streets of Washington, D.C. Kids see other kids getting a free ride, and they can run the city at night and do whatever they want and never pay a price. More kids join in, and that's exactly what's happening in Washington, D.C. Peter, thank you so much, and thanks for all of your hard work over the years. You've done incredible work. Peter Schweizer.
Well, thank you, Glenn. I appreciate your friendship.
Thank you.